Good evening, everyone. Good evening to councillors in the chamber, our resident and anyone watching at home. Can I draw everyone's attention to page 3 within the agenda, which sets out details regarding fire safety instructions and the webcasting arrangements. In the end of the fire alarm sounding, please leave the building via the nearest exit and make your way to the assembly point based in the low market car park adjacent to the Civic Suite building. Please do not return to the building unless given permission by council staff. For the benefit of those watching from home and in the public gallery, members of the committee are seated in the front row and all non-members of the committee in attendance are seated in the rows behind. That doesn't apply tonight, but just in case anyone turns up after the meeting has started. In the absence of the chair tonight, I shall be chairing the meeting. I would like to appoint Councillor Eaves as the vice chair for this meeting only. Do I have a seconder? Thank you, Councillor Shaw. All those in favour of Councillor Eaves being vice chair for the evening? Okay. Any against? Any abstaining? Okay. Thank you very much. So if you could... Oh, very sorry. Yep. Item 1, apologies for absence, substitute members and non-members attending. Apologies have been received from Councillor Webb, Councillor Julie Goodin and Councillor Lisa Newport. Substitute members, Councillor Arthur Williams is substituting for Councillor Mike Webb and Councillor Michael Hoy is substituting for Councillor Julie Goodin. Item 2. Sorry.
Sorry, Chair. Mike Sutton said he had sent his apologies this afternoon.
Okay, thank you.
That was the message I got, so I just went. Thank you.
Sorry. Item 2. Minutes of the meeting held on the 4th of December 2025. Are the minutes agreed? Okay, all in favour? Okay, thank you very much. Item 3, to receive declarations of interest. Are there any declarations of interest? If you are declaring an interest, please state the interest and the reason why you are declaring that interest. So there are no declarations of interest this evening. Item 4, public question on notice. None have been received. Item 5, Chair's report. This begins on page 11. It goes from page 11 to page 16. As the Chair is absent, then I can't really speak on his behalf. However, just two very basic updates. Both the Chairman and myself were present at the AGM for RAVS this morning, and also we are very happy, for those who don't yet know, that it was agreed last night for the funding to go forward for the refurbishment of parts of our leisure centres, which is the Rayleigh Leisure Centre and Clements Hall. So that's good news for this committee. Item 6, Youth Council funding update, and the report is going to be given from Kim, who is joining us online. Oh, Kim's down there. Sorry, very sorry.
Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much, Chair. Just to say that we had a youth summit on the 27th of January, which was really well attended, and there was some good networking going on, as well as kind of development of projects going forward. A part of that was the Youth Council requesting some additional funding out of their allocated funding pot for marketing of the Youth Council. So that's part of the work that we'll be doing with them going forward. But Youth Council will come to the June committee for a full annual report of what they've delivered.
Okay, thank you very much. Is there any questions from members?
Yeah, the Youth Council found it very difficult to recruit, significantly difficult, and during the Youth Summit, everyone active have offered any young person that wants to be part of the Youth Council will automatically get free membership of the leisure centres to give some enticement for them to do it, which I thought was quite good, and they're happy to support those young people in playing a part in the Youth Council. So we've got some progress already, but hopefully the funding they get will also be able to push to get some more. Southend has a full Youth Council and waiting list, so it would be nice to be in the same position in Rochford.
Thank you very much. Okay, thank you. Item 7, Q3 performance. The report begins on page 17. This report informs members of the performance of the Council at the end of Q3 25 to 26 in relation to the communities and homes theme of the Council's corporate plan, Our Rochford, Our Plan 24 to 28. Appendix A presents the key activities being implemented to deliver the corporate policy, priority deliverables and corporate projects, along with aligned key performance indicators, Appendix B, and formal complaints, Appendix C, for quarter 25 to 26. Has any member got any question on that at all, please? Okay, Councillor Hoy.
Thank you, Chairman. On page, with the report on page, Appendix B, page 25. Sorry, I can't hear. Page 23, 22. But it said page 25 on the report, so I don't know as well. Yeah, 22, 23, 25. Yeah, that's the one. I think I'm working from the same. I'm on a computer, so I think they are the same page numbers, but I can't guarantee it. Yeah. On the page 25, there's a lot of targets which are data only. Can you confirm whether? Can you clarify what we mean by data only? Whether the data only will change to a real target if it's just collecting data at the moment because it's too early, because we don't have the history. Is that why it's data only, is what I'm saying? So that's the first question.
Yes, the ones that have got data only are new PIs that I brought in at the start of the year. So when we get to the end of the year, we'll think about a target and benchmark that against other councils and then come up for our target for 26-27.
Okay, thank you. The next question is around complaints. Sorry, because I'm on my computer, I'm struggling to get the right page at the times. It's gone missing again. Yeah, no, it's not. I've got it written down on a Word document and I can't find it, that's all. When it comes up, I'm really sorry about this. There's obviously an issue with complaints. Are we putting specific operational changes in place or implementing them to make sure that the complaints are responded to within the required time? Because that doesn't seem to be happening at the moment. And this was raised in the budget meeting as well, could some of these issues be because we are operating below capacity? Is there a capacity issue, which means that these complaints aren't being dealt with in time? This was something which came up in the budget meeting with concerns over the unallocated staff budgets, if you like, where we're not staffing to full capacity, and I wondered if that could have been an issue.
I think there's a combination of issues. Some are, yes, there are people out of the office, whether that's on holiday or not very well, which can contribute to them being late, as we don't have huge teams to do this. But also that some of these complaints are quite complex, so they're quite difficult to answer within the time scale. So there is a mixture, but we are monitoring that and trying to improve that. So that work continues. This is a better position than we were in last year, so it's getting better, and we're certainly picking up on that underperformance as quickly as we can. So as you can see by this new system that you're looking at now, we get to see that a lot quicker now so that we can respond to when something's going out of date. So it's improving.
Thank you. And then finally, regarding the ASB cases, in Q3, the number of case closures was 0%. Can we have some clarity around that, please, why that was 0%?
I don't know the cases behind that exactly. I could look, but it will take me some time to look. There will be a reason that they weren't closed off, and that may be because we are dealing, usually, because they are not our tenants, generally, we are dealing in partnership with sanctuary or private housing, so they're not always easily solved. And I think from the text that we've referred or signposted to the housing providers where we can no longer do anything through the powers we have. So I will get that information to all the committee, but I can give details of why that is, but I haven't got the individual cases.
Okay, thank you, that's fine.
Thank you for your questions, Councillor Hoy. Has anyone else got any questions? Okay, everyone content? This report is for noting. Is everyone happy to note the report? Item 8, Annual Health Report for Rochford. Report begins on page 29. The report states out the health and profile for Rochford. This is presented annually to the relevant committee. Is there any questions on this report? Everyone content? Okay, so everybody's noting. Thank you very much. Sorry. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to highlight within the report where Rochford, we've got decreasing numbers of people that are physically active, both adults and children, so we're getting a growing obesity rate, so we're looking at projects and activities that we can do to kind of support that. And we've also got quite a high number of dental decay in 5-year-olds, so again, it's looking at those elements where we can provide some activities to kind of decrease those numbers. But I just wanted to draw it to your attention for that.
Thank you very much for that update. Is everyone content? Item 9. The report begins on page 41. This report is to provide an overview of the Renters' Rights Act 2025, which has now been enshrined in law. The report sets out the main provisions of the legislation, the new responsibilities which it places on the Council, and the implication for the Council's resources. Do any members have any questions on this? Okay, in that case, I'll move to the recommendations set out in page 42 of the report. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Mrs. Shaw. Oh, sorry. Okay, thank you. Okay, it's been seconded by Councillor Mrs. Sorry.
Just to let members know, obviously the legislation comes into place from the 1st of May. We need to be ready for that. To assure members we will be on Monday, a project manager will be starting with Brentwood and Rochford to deliver policies and practices and our fees and charges for that before the 1st of May. Now, obviously, in that time, we will not be able to do anything in April, so we need to get everything done by March, which means there's not another meeting of this committee. So recommendation 2 will allow the Strategy, Finance and Policy Committee to allow those and approve those new policies, etc. So we felt that was the most appropriate after this meeting. So just let members know why we're doing that.
Thank you. I'll now read the recommendations out. Are members happy to take both recommendations together, or would you like them separately? Okay. Recommendation 1. The committee notes the progress made to date with the implementation of the Renters' Rights Act 2025 as detailed in this report. Recommendation 2. The committee approves that a report recommending approval of the new civil penalties policy and financial penalties policy will be brought to a future meeting of the Strategy, Finance and Policy Committee as detailed in report. Can I have a vote for? Okay, right. Okay, everyone in favour for noting recommendation 1? Noted. Okay. Recommendation 2. Do we have a show of hands for? Sorry. Oh. Can I have a seconder for recommendation 2? Okay. Thank you very much, Councillor Eaves. So, all those in favour of recommendation 2? I think that's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 10, Rochford Priority Fund, allocation of funding. The report begins on page 71. An allocation of £90,000 was agreed at full council on 18th of February 2025 for the Rochford Priorities Fund as part of the council's budget for 25-26. At this committee on the 10th of March 2025, members approved the principles of the fund, and the purpose of this report before us today is to approve how the remainder of the Rochford Priority Fund will be allocated. Do any members have any questions on this? Okay, Councillor Hoy.
Thank you, Chairman. I know this question has been previously asked, but I would like an answer to this myself. I wasn't aware that this committee had, or the council had given power to the chair of the committee and the officer to make changes to the amounts of monies that was provided in the funds. Can I have confirmation where their power arose from, please?
That came to this committee in June.
I'm pointing out that I disagree with the conclusions that came to the committee. I'm making a point.
Do you have anything that you can refer Councillor Hoy to, or will you be able to get back to him outside of this meeting?
Sorry, the chair may not be aware there's extended correspondence between the monitoring officer, the chief executive, as well as a member of this committee. I'm just raising it in this committee to make sure it's raised in this committee, so that we can say that we've raised it in this committee.
Okay, thank you.
Sorry, can I just clarify? So the change in the way the scheme, so what was agreed back in March was then changed in June. So there was, the amount of money was changed and how the funding was going to be done in the second half. In terms of the awards and the guidance provided through the delegations in the scheme in June, that was responsibility of me in consultation with the chair of the committee. There were the reasons for having the level of funding per award at the level that we set it at was to ensure that we were not inundated with a large amount of requests for small cheques, which would mean a cost to the council some considerable amount at small amounts. When we came to looking at all the amount of bids that we'd had, there were 5, I think, that were under the amount, but all of those met the criteria. We'd also had some awards that were higher to groups, which means there was less cost in transferring money to them. So in the spirit of what we were trying to do and what members wanted to do via the Priorities Fund was to get money to those in need, the chairman and I agreed that it was in the spirit and therefore we could do that. Advice has been provided to the councillor that requested it, that it is in the spirit, it is guidance, and we felt that it was important that money got to the community. So that is within the report.
Thank you. Are you happy with that response, Councillor Hoy?
I will not be noting the report because I disagree with it. Thank you.
Okay, Councillor Linden.
Thank you for that. I would also like clarification on what Councillor Hoy has just brought up, so if that could be circulated to us in due course. The Parking Pavement Act that was going through, is there going to be any, I know it's in London, Scotland, etc., but is there going to be any work that we're doing to actually consider what's going on? Excuse me, can you scrap that?
Okay, I'll give you the opportunity to ask that question on the next item. Thank you. Are there any more questions? In that case, I will move the recommendation set out on page 72 of the report. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Eaves?
Sorry, Chair, are you taking these separately?
Okay, I'll take these separately. So the second, Councillor Eaves has seconded the first recommendation. Okay. Recommendation for 1, for members to note the allocation of funding which has been agreed by the Director of Communications and Health in consultation with the Chair of the Committee as set out in Appendix A of this report. Is everyone happy to note that? Okay.
Can it please be recorded that I'm not noting the report?
Okay. Thank you. Okay. Recommendation 2, that a report is brought to a future meeting of this committee which evaluates the outcomes of the funding which has been allocated. Do I have a seconder for recommendation 2? Okay. Everyone in favour of recommendation 2? That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 11, Public Spaces Protection Order targeting vehicle nuisance public consultation results. The report begins on page 79. The report is to consider the outcome of the consultation for a proposed vehicle spaces protection order, PSPO, targeting vehicle nuisance within identified areas for a period of 3 years. The report presents the findings from the statutory 6-week public consultation regarding the proposed Public Space Protection Order, PSPO, targeting vehicle nuisance within identified areas in Rochford District. The consultation aimed to gather feedback from the community, including residents, businesses and stakeholders seeking information such as the prevalence of the impact of the vehicle-related antisocial behaviour, dangerous driving, excessive noise and gatherings that disrupt public spaces and present a risk to community safety. Is there any questions for members? Okay. Sorry, Councillor Linden.
Thank you, Chair. I'm glad you've now all caught up with me. Do you remember my question, or would you like me to ask it again?
Could you ask it again, please?
It's regard to the Parking Pavement Act. I know it's not applicable to England, but are we doing any work in respect to that, please?
The simple answer is the legislation isn't there yet. And we're waiting for what they call the devil in the detail as far as legislation is concerned, but we believe it will be very similar to that in London. It will be dealt with by SEP, who are currently looking into the development of a policy and how that may look. Councillor Steptoe is very involved in that, I know. So we are thinking about what we might do, the kind of things that we might need to be thinking about. So once we know exactly what the scheme will need to look like from government's legislation, then we will move at pace to do that. But it wouldn't fall into the PSPO. There will be separate legislation and there'll be fixed penalty notices or be parking, probably PCNs, for parking on pavement. So, and we'll have to consider how that would be managed.
Okay, thank you. I mean, as you said, it's in the detail of it, but I know a lot of work has been done where we've been lowering pavements, which has naturally caused people to actually park on them, so there's a lot of work which will be done. But that will be done through SEPs. But yeah, so you'll get back to us in due course in respect to that. Thank you.
Okay, are you content, Councillor Linden? Councillor Mrs Shaw.
Thank you, Chair. I've got a declaration of interest. I am actually an ECC councillor and also chairman of SEP. So that's the South Essex Parking Partnership for recording. As it's already been mentioned, we are looking into this. We've got a meeting in the next couple of weeks, which we should get some more details, but it isn't in place yet. We're just looking at if it comes in, how we're going to do it. And as it's already been mentioned, Councillor Mike Steptoe is the rep that comes along for RDC. Thank you.
Thank you. If there's no more questions, sorry. Councillor Williams, sorry.
Thank you. I just wonder if I could ask the officer, how does this differ in as much police already have powers under section 59, I understand, for this. How does this differ? Closer.
Yes, the police do have powers, but we don't. So it then gives the ability for the police to give fixed penalty notices, which they will, and us the ability to give fixed penalty notices, or any agents that we may give authority to do that.
Thank you.
Are you content with that, Councillor Williams? Okay, Councillor Mr Shaw.
Thank you, Chairman. I'd just like to know who's going to monitor all this. I mean, at the moment, at Holt Farm School, there's supposed to be no parking at the school between 8 o'clock and that. You can't even move down there if you want to go in there, because nobody's ever down there doing anything about it.
I can certainly pick that up with SEP. They did come along to scrutiny a couple of weeks ago now. They do visit every school, but there's 3 for the whole district. Can't cover every school. They do. Lovely tune. Just to remind me to take my tablets. So they do visit every school, but there is a 5-minute rule to warn people to move, because by the time they start typing all the information into their handhelds, people drive off. So they do catch some, of course they do, but it's more of a deterrent when they go down there. So there is a task and finish group that's being pulled together, which we're doing towards the end of this month, of how we might do some work with SEP to improve that at schools. So we have got some ideas. So we are looking at it, but it is a national problem. Everyone is having the same problem, and no one's really got the solve for it unless you close the streets, which I think would cause us no end of other problems.
Councillor Mrs Shaw.
Can I just add that to Councillor Mr Shaw? When the enforcement agencies do go around our schools, unfortunately, the mums, I've been there when it's been said, you can give us a fine, we can afford it. So they don't care. So they're not actually thinking of the safety of their children, they're just thinking quick, park anywhere they like, on yellow, on the zigzags, etc. So it's going to be a very hard job to actually get this enforced, because, as I say, we've only got 3 for the whole district. Thank you.
Thank you for that. Is there anything else? In that case, members, I will move the recommendations set out on page 80 of the report. Can I have a seconder, please? Councillor Eaves, do you wish to take the recommendations together or separately? Okay, I'll read them out. Recommendation 1, consider the outcome of the public consultation and agree to continue with the development of a proposed public spaces protection order targeting vehicle nuisance within identified areas as detailed in this report. Recommendation 2, to undertake further consultation with parish councils and landowners who may be impacted by the proposed public spaces protection order as detailed in this report. Recommendation 3, agree that a report be brought to the next meeting of the committee detailing the outcome of the additional consultation, a recommendation on whether to approve a proposed public spaces protection order and the proposed arrangements for enforcement of the proposed public spaces protection order. Can I have...
Sorry, Chair, just a minor point that on our notes we've only got recommendations 1, 2 and 2. It's just it is 3. Is that correct? Is that correct?
Okay, we'll make an amendment on that. Do I have a show of hands for this, please? Okay. That's unanimous. Thank you very much. Item 12, position statement and guidance on 3G artificial grass pitches. The report begins on page 129. The report sets out a revised position, statement and development guidance on 3G artificial grass pitches across the Rochford district following significant improvements in containment and the growing need for pitches. I believe Councillor Hoy wishes to speak on this.
Thank you, Chairman. I wasn't sure where that was going to go. As members may be aware, I was actually I think I was the portfolio holder when this position statement first came forward, or the original position statement came forward, because I was quite keen on the idea. I was very concerned about the rubber crumb and other contaminants which could get into the environment and into young people. I can support this new position statement because I have said previously that I think really it's about end-of-life management of it though. So I had spoken to Mr Brace, and I've also spoken to the chair about this today. I'm not sure what the feeling of the committee is, but to add in the position statement, after 4 community value, to add 5 end-of-life management, which would read end-of-life management. The development of 3G football pitches should be considered an end-of-life management plan. The plan should demonstrate how the following components will be managed at the end of their operational life: artificial grass, carpet, performance, infill, all types, shock pad, if present. That was a proposal I'm making to add that to the position statement.
Councillor Mr Shaw.
Thank you, Chair. I support the new position statement because the need for these facilities is clear and urgent. We are now the only district in Essex without a full-size 3G pitch, despite having over 300 affiliated football teams and a growing demand from schools, women and girls teams and disabled sports. Our clubs are struggling to train, schools are losing time, and items are being forced to leave teams are being forced to leave the district simply to access suitable facilities. 3G pitches provide year-round weather resilient facilities that dramatically increase participation, improve health and well-being, and support community safety by giving young people positive structured activities. They are essential if we are to seriously think about growing women and girls football and ensuring equal access to sport. This position statement gives us a balanced, evidence-led way forward, meeting a proven local need while applying strong environmental control during nothing continues to held. Our clubs and schools are crying out for this facility. This policy statement allows us to start meeting what is in demand. Thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Williams, did you want to speak to this?
Yeah, just for some clarification, please. I'm not sure if Councillor Hoy was asking that an amendment be made to the statement.
I use the word proposal rather than amendment. You're quite right. I was proposing an amendment, but I don't appear to have been seconded at the moment.
Councillor Linden.
I will second Councillor Hoy.
Any more comments on Councillor Hoy's amendment? Okay, I'll take Councillor Hoy's amendment to the vote. All in favour of Councillor... Okay, can you read out Councillor Hoy's amendment, please?
So it will be point 5 on the guidance, which will be end-of-life management. The development of 3G football pitches should have an end-of-life management plan. The plan should demonstrate how the following components will be managed at the end of their operational life: artificial grass carpet, performance infill, all types, shock pad if present.
Councillor Hoy, are you happy that that reflects what you want to say? Okay, we have an amendment from Councillor Hoy, seconded by Councillor Linden. Can I have a show of hands on everyone in favour of that, please? Okay, that's a unanimous. Okay, I'll go on to the rest of the recommendations. Sorry. Right. Does anyone else want to speak before we go on to the rest of the recommendations? Councillor Hoy.
Thank you, Chairman. I just really had a question around how the maintenance aspect would be enforced. Who would enforce it, and would there be, what remedies would there be if the people with the 3G pitches aren't doing the maintenance properly?
There's nothing enforceable. This is guidance, and where the council is putting a position statement of where they want to be. I think this will give us a better opportunity to work with those people that are constructing them, and that there is a proper management plan, that they are following it, which we would hope to have community agreements in place, of which we would have the ability to go and look and see what's happening. So they do have to meet a British standard. It is a British standard, and that includes maintenance and how it should be maintained. So what they say they're going to do, we will check that they have done that. But in terms of enforcement, we don't have any powers, but certainly we have reputations that we can certainly play on to make sure that people manage those pitches in the right way. And that does mean it will cost less to run if they maintain them in the proper way. So we will work with that, whether that's now or after LGR. There will be a requirement for people to make sure that where there's community agreements in place, where we will have them, where pitches are put in, that we will go and check that that is being done, because that is what the council's position is.
Sorry, could I just quickly come back on that? Thank you very much, Mr. Brace. If a 3G pitch is installed by a football club affiliated to the FA, would the FA have a say in how it's maintained?
The Essex FA are aware of this and very happy with the approach that we're taking to make sure we're protecting the environment as well as getting young people fit and healthy. And as you've heard from Kim tonight, we know 33% of our Year 6 children are overweight. That's not a good position to be in, because it was less than that last year. So it's getting a bigger problem. So doing this will hopefully make something good happen in terms of young people's weight. So the FA are definitely behind this, and they will be checking on such things with us.
Thank you. Councillor Eaves, you wishes to speak?
Yeah, just one point really. Although we understand the reasoning behind this, obviously we are very concerned about the environmental sort of side of it. What I would like to know is that we don't actually come into a situation where this is the default. So if there are options, that this isn't gone to without considering other options in the meantime, so as the environmental stuff can be completely covered off as being a priority as per our environmental plan.
The guidance does say all infills should be considered before deciding on the option. Yep, not many of the other infills are suitable in some areas and not in others, and that judgment needs to be made. At the bottom of this, it does say the guidance will be reviewed annually at a point where there is something that is, one, sustainable, two, affordable, yep, and does perform as well as, or if not better than, rubber crumb, then we will be recommending that to be in there, and we would suggest that rubber crumb is no longer needed because there is a suitable replacement. So I see this very much as interim, that as science moves on, we're going to get something that replaces rubber crumb and doesn't damage the environment, although great steps have been taken to stop the escape of it from the pitch. So we've moved on a bit. When we move on again, then we'll revise this position.
Councillor Linden.
I do apologise, there's been a lot of changes over the last year or so, but we had and I might ask Councillor Eaves to help me on this one. We had a situation where we refused a planning application for, was it Grove School? I understand that that has been overturned. Do you have any details on actually what happened on that, and if there's any progress on putting that in?
I'd have to come back to you because I haven't got the full details of that, but I can come back to you on it.
If you could please, it was a very emotive case at the time, so I would be interested to actually see the outcome. My position has moved on that because I have looked further into these pitches, and as Councillor Shaw says, and also for the health reason of the kids, it is something which I will be supporting going forward. But if you could fill us in with the details, then that would be appreciated.
Yeah, I am interested because I've put a hockey pitch in before and I couldn't go anywhere near 3G. It could only be sand. So I've never heard of a 3G hockey pitch, but maybe I'm going to find out and I'll come back to you. But yes, I will give you all the information I can on where and what.
Thank you. Is there any more comments or questions? Councillor Brewer.
Thank you, Chair. Yes, I was on the development committee at the time of the Grove School one, and did quite a lot of investigations as far as I could do, because I'll be honest, I know nothing about football, which isn't the point. I'm still noting that there are still concerns regarding the long-term exposure of the particles that can be carried on the boots, that can go on the clothing, that can attach to the skin. I know, as been said by Mr. Brace there, there's everything is moving forward, which is great. I'm just concerned about the present, and I haven't actually seen enough evidence myself to persuade me that this is the only way forward. And I'm just putting this out because this is probably going to reflect things as we go forward. Yes, I'm fully in favour of children having exercise, all forms of exercise. I don't think it's necessary that we're going to depend solely on 3G pitches to keep children active. I think there's lots of other things keeping them away from that. I see that in England, there are just over 2,000 pitches that are 3G, which in the grand scheme of things isn't a lot. So I know there must be perhaps one in every district, borough, whatever, and 640 of those are actually in use for the community with the FA. So on my investigations, I'm really concerned. I'm glad Councillor Hoy brought this about the disposal, because I've also noted that the artificial grass industry are increasingly trying to develop more methods of recycling, which again is another problem, I think, for the environment. Are these pitches, where are they going to be? It says that they've got to have the appropriate fencing. I'm not even sure, actually. I know what we're doing. If people are coming, if it's schools, I understand what they'd have to do. I'm not sure where these other pitches would be. I'm a little concerned for the children. Up to development, there's lots of things on the health side of it that I can see. But I've got reservations. I just wanted to make my point. Thank you. If there's anybody who wants to comment on that, I'll be happy to listen. Thanks.
Okay, thank you for your comments. Thank you.
There have been quite a few developments on terms of maintenance, which I've mentioned before. About a year ago, I've witnessed a machine that washes the rubber crumb. So if there's any dust, etc., that does get in there, that is created, then there is now a way of cleaning that out of the pitch and cleaning the rubber crumb. So there's the industry is catching on to trying to do as much as it can to make it as safe, although it is a minimal risk, a very minimal risk. They still want to make sure they're taking every opportunity to make it as safe as they possibly can. So they're the kind of things that we will be looking at and talking about if we've got the playing pitch strategy coming to the committee in June. June, it's a little bit delayed because there's still club consultation going on, but we are deficient by 8 pitches just in Rochford. The capacity, we have 2 grass pitches currently available for hire. We've got 3 teams already queuing up for it. Women's football is growing hugely. There is nowhere for them to play. So the more water we get, and it's been absolutely fabulous, has it not, the last few weeks, those pitches will be out of use. So that's why this is a solution to that issue. But certainly I think the industry, certainly from the position that you gave your position statement last time to now, I think there's been a significant shift in the safety environmentally and for the people using them, enough to be able to bring this to you today.
Thank you. Has everyone spoken? Oh, sorry, Councillor Williams.
Thank you, Chairman. I understand that there are risks, and we've mitigated those risks as much as possible. But I do wonder, and I'm sure that the benefits will outweigh, the health benefits will outweigh the risk that children take. So I will fully support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Has everyone spoken that wishes to speak? Okay, in that case, I will move the recommendation set on page 129 of the report. Can I have a seconder, please? Okay, Councillor Mr. Shaw. Okay, do you wish to take these two items together? Okay, I'll read the items out. Recommendation 1 approves the position statement on the future development of 3G pitches across the district set out in paragraph 1.11, that it is adopted by the Council. Recommendation 2 approves the guidance for 3G pitch development across the district as set out in Appendix A. Can I have a show of hands, please? Okay, show of hands for. Okay. As amended by Councillor Hoyt. Okay. Any against? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you very much. That motion's carried. Okay, it's carried. It was it 6 for 1 abstention. 7. Oh, okay. Sorry. Item 13, Committee Work Programme. This report begins on page 171. This report sets out the work programme for the committee for the 2025-2026 municipal year. Is there any questions from members? Okay. This report is for noting. Is everyone happy to note it? Okay, that concludes our business for this evening at 2021. Thank you very much for your attendance and have a safe journey home. Thank you. Thank you.